So in another installment of the same speech, the words I want to give you are dangerous, and the sentiment that they come out of involves a warrior's compassion. To borrow a sentence, a focus about the work of warrior performance artist Taylor Mack, it's all about inspiring you to revolt against a government or an institution or your obstinate sense of self. A movement, a doing, the work. Contemplative education, an instrument of compassion, applies directly and in distinct ways to all of us here because all of us go into the world as learners and educators, constantly bringing ourselves and those around us to new ways of seeing, in the hope of compassion in all individuals of the world. We've been given a gift through contemplative education, and that gift is not self-sustaining in ourselves or in the wider world. What we've been given are tools, compassion, tenderness, practice, to bring the world together, and still the world is not amenable to our concerns, to our contemplation, to the metacognition of our place in the broader sense of this space. In other words, in graduating, we are about to lose a layer or layers of safety that we've become used to. However, Naropa University is not, or should not be because of its visionary founders, a place to rest, a place to float, a place to bask in the seeming ease of a hippie environment. As most of us know, and sometimes forget, the hippie in the purest sense of the idea was never complacent. There were those who kept company with Trungpa or any number of our school's tribe who did not ascribe to the society-changing critiques offered by their peers. The people surrounding great movements, but not participating in the difficult elements of them, the bystanders, do not make history. At Naropa, our lineage is not, emphatically and critically not, filled with bystanders. Whether you look at the writing lineage, as I have, or at every other foundational lineage at this institution. However we participate in the world, we must show up. We must not remove ourselves from the equation. Here, we are meant to stoke our individual lights so that we leave this place able to enact change rather than to watch the world burn. For those of us on the sheer edge of leaving this quote-unquote safe container, I want to point at the potential and the opacity of a place like this, to remind of or name the points of contact for those who are asleep, as well as those who know better than me what needs doing. A place like this is always on the verge, like us, of sheer collapse. Because Naropa and contemplative education are inherently subversive and create disruptions between logical, orderly, complacent, labeled, normative, perhaps Western structures. Challenges to structure from students, faculty, and staff alike have been the lifeblood and energetic action of my time at Naropa. This useful chaos is the thread that binds us together, and it should be welcomed as the opening of space, as Trungpa might have put it. Contemplation, meta-discourse, dialogic structures above from which one can see the machine, these impose useful chaos, instruct and educate compassion into the existing systems. We look at the machine from above and we discover how it works, where we fit, how we don't fit, learning to exploit and undermine the machinations of normative discourse, learning to diagnose the machine, to dissect. You in the world are not to hide, not to bask as the bystander, but to literally become, to transform what's out there, obligated to go out and work as ambassadors for bios in the eco, for life in the house we all inhabit. This work is what makes Naropa a unique place. In speaking of place through space, Bachelard writes, we should therefore have to say how we inhabit our vital space, in accord with all the dialectics of life, how we take root day after day in a corner of the world. For our house is our corner of the world. For anyone who has perfected the arts of solitude, aloneness, self-absorption, anxiety at the world, this broad space, I leave you with a new commission, a place from which to project and propel yourself into action. For those of you who are engaged in the world as an actor, I embolden you. I give you that because that is what Naropa, at its core, beyond the walls or the policies, gives you. We are set into motion in this era of public incompetence and dispassion to turn the world upside down, to trouble the lines we are told will always keep us apart. We are placed between the greatest wisdom and knowledge traditions of East and West to spark the fire that explodes out into this America and this world and tears it apart, sees how it works, and puts it back together in a passionate manner, in the manner of a with passionate or compassionate warrior for the betterment of all here meaning all. We are, because of our place in the midst of a clash, charged to co-create, to say, this is not that, so fix it, or there is a there, so fix it. Leave your own selfish notions behind in order to participate in a world and change it for all, to show that yes, contemplation has a place in society, touches the deep root of humanity, and helps resolve our place within the world, within ourselves, within each other, together, where we know there is work to be done. This is the world, and we are a part of it, and we are to work in the world so that we better it, leaving space for the coexistence of people with people, inviting ourselves to feel and to move within the world of that feeling, not to pat ourselves on the back, for the work is never done. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. This is your charge. I set forth the task or remind you of it, and I leave you to keep the fire burning, to energize as catalysts within the crucible the strength that Naropa possesses, that the world needs. I urge you, move. Thank you.